Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Today is another live with Gail, myself, and two beautiful women here. So, as usual, Gail, you're going to start this conversation off, and then we continue from there. Okay, Gail. Mike is all
Hi,
yours, girl.
everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another interesting and engaging live chat. My name is Gail Withers. I am a training consultant. And what do I do, Karen? Oh, my superpower is customer service. All your customer service training needs, I am your go to person. Today, we are joined by Morgana Jones and Carolyn Leak, and we're going to be talking about money management, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, which is a big deal if you're in business for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. So, ladies, welcome to our Sunday live chat. If you can just go ahead and introduce yourselves, we'll start with Carolyn first, and then she'll hand over to Morgana, and then we're going to get right into today's topic. Welcome, ladies.
Well, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it, guys. My name is Carolyn Leak, and I actually help families go into communities and do financial education, and actually an advocate for young people to stop being farmers of the prison system.
Mm.
Thank
And
you.
my name is
Sorry.
Morgana.
Uh-huh.
Everything I do is about helping women grow from a perspective of their mindset and their money. And I
Mm.
sometimes have to ask a very difficult question, and that is women, are you living good or just looking good?
Ooh,
Ooh. that,
yes.
that
That is the question. Are you
yes.
living good or are
I
you
mean,
looking good?
no, right.
Okay, so we're gonna hold that question. We're gonna hold that question until the end because I want to hear what some of your clients tell you. But to get today started, I'm gonna ask this question first. Like, so you're an entrepreneur or you are a solopreneur where you're doing everything yourself. Like, why do most of us struggle to stay on top of our finances? Do you think? Like, what have you found in your experience dealing with us? I don't know who want to go. Who
I,
wants to go first? Carolyn, you can answer that.
I get it. That question is mainly because when you're starting a business, you know exactly the product or the service you're providing. But when it comes down to where you put your money, you're supposed to have a separate bank account. So you know
Mm-hmm.
what's coming in and what's going out. So now you have a good vision. Or then you need to actually set up an account, an accounting software like QuickBooks. It's
Mm-hmm.
very friendly. So now you have a better vision, a measurable of what your business is doing. Those are the things that most people don't understand when they get into business. They still mingle their money with their personal bank account. Well, you can't do
Mm-hmm.
that because
Mm-hmm.
you have your personal bank account should be your 30 days. That's all your rent slash mortgage, your car payment, your utilities, all of that comes out of there. But your business income, so you can see what your business is doing and how to measure that, is the expenses that comes out of that plus the revenue that you're getting from the providing the service that you're providing. All of that is gone into that account. So now you can see, separate the two. And
Mm-hmm.
when you do that, you can see how much I'm making and then what I can save and where I can save. We can start that next stage of where I can save the money. Morgana?
Mm-hmm.
I combine financial licenses with a background in professional counseling. So I always tend to take it to a deeper level. So I believe everything Carolyn said is correct. What I'll add to that to take it a step deeper is we bring ourselves to our businesses. And 9 times out of 10, we don't know how to manage our own personal finances. So
Mm-hmm.
if we
That's
can't
true.
manage our own personal finances, how are we going to manage business finances?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the big problems that I've had to overcome as an entrepreneur, I've taken a solopreneur route as well as entrepreneur route, and it is handling my finances first, getting my money in order. So guess what? When my business makes money, I don't have to pull from the business so my business can grow because I've got my personal finances in order. So what I
Mm-hmm.
found is that a lot of times we don't know how to manage our own money. Like Carolyn said, getting more growth, separating it so that you can see what you're spending on yourself or your business. It takes all of that combined to really make your business grow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if I can just add to that by giving you this scenario,
Mhm.
Morgana, because you're taking it deeper for us today. So I am an employee and I'm managing my money pretty okay, and I know what my monthly expenses are. Then I am one of a mass layoff. Now I have to decide what I'm gonna do. I've decided, okay, I don't want to go back into corporate. I'm gonna start my own business because my friends and family tell me what a wonderful baker I am and they love my cakes and everything. So I'm gonna get into this business. What advice would you give for me? Because that is not my scenario. I keep telling people I cannot cook to save my life. But what I did find when I branched out into entrepreneurship unexpectedly is that you might know in your mind what your monthly expenses are based on your salary. But now you have the business. So you don't only need to make the money to cover your bills. You know, need because your business is like a baby, it has needs. And I find sometimes you're playing kind of catch up because you never really projected what your business might cost you because you didn't know. If you understand what I mean, it wasn't
I do.
planned. It wasn't planned, but you decided, I'm going to try this. And it's hard. So, what advice would you give somebody like that where, you were working, you loved your job, now you're part of a mass layoff, you decide, you know what, I'm going to just try this and see how it works. How do you help me manage my money better?
I don't know if it is God working, but I just went through that scenario at the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I had a corporate job. I was working while building this business. I was laid off from my corporate job, so I had to ask myself all of those questions.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I really needed to do was find a way to get more growth for my money so my money could last longer. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one simple point, but that is what I would say. So, working with Carolyn and myself, we could help you with places to put your money so you do get more growth potential. Because if I could take that $1 and make it stretch 14 days more than seven, as opposed to 7 days, that's what's
Mm-hmm.
going to help that scenario that you're referring to.
Nice. Okay, great. I love it.
Yeah.
I should have known you 2 years ago, but we can't go back. So I'm going to continue on this vein because I find this conversation very interesting. So, Carolyn, I'm coming back to you because based on what Morgana just said, let's talk about mindset. Do you think that you need to have a specific type of mindset, especially when it comes to managing your finances? Like, do you need to have, as Morgana suggested, a growth mindset rather than a lack mind, a scarcity mindset? And do you think that this is a challenge that you've seen most of all? So, for example, you people are working, and it seems as though sometimes, no matter how much salary you're making, it is never enough. It is always scarce, and then you become an entrepreneur, so you're like scarce by two because you have to make your normal money. So, Carolyn, what do you think? Can you hear us okay? Because I see you pointing at your ears, so I'm just checking.
Can I pass that to Morgana because I'm having problems hearing?
Okay, Morgana, can you answer that for us? Can you remember the question?
I was going to say, can you repeat
So
it
the
for me?
mindset, we're talking about mindset. We're talking
Mindset.
about mindset. Do you find that that is a challenge for entrepreneurs, having a growth mindset
Mhm.
versus a scarcity mindset? Because sometimes as an employee transitioning into entrepreneurship, you may have developed that scarcity mindset from before. Your salary may never have been enough. Now you're an entrepreneur, you need that. You don't have your salary, you still have your bills personally, and now you have your bills from the business. Have you seen that as an issue for us, like challenged? That's our biggest
Absolutely.
challenge, and how do you get us to work around that?
Absolutely. And what comes to mind for me is the cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. And if you
Ah,
can
okay.
imagine a quadrant, and in the top left, you have E for employee. And this goes back to we bring ourselves to the table. And how are we raised to make income? Work a job,
Mm-hmm.
exchange your time
Mhm.
for money, and that's how you make money, right? Now, On the other side, on the bottom left of that quadrant is self-employed. Because as self-employed, you figure you have a little more control, so you can control how much money you make, but you're still, as an employee or self-employed, limited to how much income you make by how much time you invest,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So we have to move from a mindset of that left side of the cash flow quadrant to move over
Mhm.
to the right side of the cash flow quadrant. And on
Mhm.
that right side of the cash flow quadrant, which is where we are as entrepreneurs, we want to make money as a business owner. That's going to be in that top right side of the quadrant, B for business owner. The beautiful part about business owners is leveraging a team and people to help make income.
Mhm.
But culturally, we sometimes have a distrust of working with other people, right? So
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
we have to get over the mindset of how do we make money, and we also have to get over the mindset of trying to do it alone to work with people and building a team. Like Carolyn and I are here together. We're both in the same business, but we don't feel any competition because we're helping each other. We're working together. And then also a
Mhm.
part of that mindset shift that we have to make is investing. To invest our money so our money begins to work for us. So, yes,
Mhm.
mindset shifting is a challenge. And the mindset shift that we first work on with clients is moving from the left side of that cash flow quadrant, where you are limited by your time and activities to make money, to the right side, where you're leveraging a team and a system, or leveraging compounding interest and investments to make income.
Mhm. Mhm. So ideally, as an entrepreneur, I should be able to generate enough income to cover my personal expenses, the business expenses, and still have money to invest. If my understanding of everything you said is correct.
Yes, and yes. So, but and the point I'm making there, you're absolutely correct. But even as a business owner and your individual, to cover a lot of times when we get in business, we're getting into business to make more income, so we're not maybe covering the bills now, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it
Mm-hmm.
still keeps coming back to that very simple concept of getting your money to work harder for
Harder.
you in
Mm-hmm.
your personal finances, but you should also have business finances, investments
Mm-hmm.
for your business.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then
Ah,
while your
yes.
personal finances are growing, your business finances are growing. So, for example, I do a lot of work with Black churches, Black American churches. No offense to any other culture online, that's just who I work with. And I help them, for example, take their money and not just leave it in the bank where they get less than 1%, but moving it and maybe get 4%, 5%, 6%. So then
Mm-hmm.
next month they have more money to work with for those bills.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
see
I
where I'm
love it.
going?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. We
Yeah.
see where you're going, and we're going with
Yeah.
you.
I want to add, I did put the book link. It's not a sponsor, guys. Just anybody who's interested on reading the book that just Morgana just mentioned, right? Just to get you started on the mind flow and the mindset. Because money is energy. We all know that, right? But I do wonder a lot of the times for most of us, our mindset around money comes with how we was raised and the way our
Mm-hmm.
families talked about money, right?
Mm-hmm.
As for me, I always hear money's devil, money is evil. If you have money, but not realizing money. It is money. It is what the money. That money does what it is. But
Mm.
I find that sometimes people personalities are there, right? Little certain ways are there, but sometimes money enhance certain negative traits of a person. So it's not money per se the issue, because I know growing up I heard that a lot. Money is the devil, and if you have money, people do next. See, money is the root of all evil, and all of that. That's what I'm used to hearing. So
Mhm.
a lot of that comes with your mindset. A lot of that thought about money comes with the way we grew up. Do any of the ladies have to struggle, or maybe had that attachment thought around money because maybe that's what you heard when you was within your families, or no? Which is my just mine.
I'm going to defer to Carolyn for this one, but you ladies are hitting my hot spot now.
Yeah, we're not sure if Carolyn can hear us. But if she can't,
Oh.
Morgana, I'm sorry, it's back at you. It's gonna be a hot question, but it's gonna be
Okay,
back
so
at you because I
Mhm.
think Karen hit the nail on the head. A lot of where where we've come from that
Mhm.
has led us to where we are today and who we are really governs a lot of how we think about certain things, money being one.
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Carolyn, I heard you coming off mute. Do you want to take this one?
I'm having echo issues. That's the thing.
I would
Okay.
just, I can repeat it. I was just referring to the way I thought about money and our families, right? Because our family plenty conversations and I had about money when it comes to negative money being negative. If you see people do bad things because of money, but not realizing people do bad things, those bad behaviors or those bad actions already ingrained in them. And,
Sorry.
and money just kind of enhances those particular. The more money you have, sometimes you're kind and give it to people, and the more money you have, sometimes you just do trickery and negative things. So I would just say, is it just, do anybody have that experience, or is it just my own experience?
So, okay, so if I can understand the question,
Mhm.
it is that money is not evil.
Right.
Okay, it's the whoever doing evil thing. The person who has the money. If they were evil before they got money, now that money enhanced the evilness. That's all it is.
That's all. That's essentially right.
So
Ah.
money does not create a person to be evil.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So money actually enhances. We need that. We need finances to be able to not just help ourselves, but it help our community,
Yeah.
help others. So what Morgana and I do, that's what we go in the community and to try to enhance what they have, build on what they do know, and walk them through that journey. So it's not money. Having money is causing you to be evil. That's the wrong saying. The root, money is not the root of all evil. It's the person
Hmm.
that is holding the money has that evilness in them to
Right.
portray that evilness at a higher level when they get more money. Okay, so but we do need finances. We do need the income. We do need that revenue to be able to buy that house, to pay for our
Hmm.
college education, to have a better life. That we don't have to live the life that we see just because we came from poverty. That don't mean we have to stay there.
Right.
Okay, if I answered your question right,
Yes.
like,
Yes, essentially that was the question. But Lucille mentioned a good point. She just said money just allows what money just allow people to be more of who they are. That's just essentially she's meant her opinion. Yeah, I mean, the more money you have, right? If you, especially from going from somebody living check to check, or not having money, and then you have a whole plethora of money, right? So, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to teach other people how to learn what you have learned? Or you're gonna keep it all, hold that information over. So like what is the goal behind having money for some people? And I agree with her. Money, that's essentially what it is. It's not money because money it's a resource to do a lot more. But it's ultimately it's an individual thing. That's just my personal take on it. Just an individual matter. You know.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
I could stir up the pot just a little bit.
Sure.
So if you think about how we are raised as women,
Mm-hmm.
typically it is to sit down somewhere, be pretty, and look good.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a philosophy, you can let me know what you think,
Sure.
that women, first, we need to give ourselves permission to earn money, have money, and even want a lot of money. Because I think we don't feel like we have that permission. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, Karen, because we may have been raised that it's evil.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we are given these subliminal messages that as women, it's our role to look good,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we get this money, we spend money that we don't even have to look good.
Mm-hmm.
There are statistics that show women as of 2022, can't think of the organization, but I can find it and send it out after the call. Bankrate.com. Most women don't even have $100 in their bank account. However, within that month, I'm wondering how much that same woman would have spent on her hair, her nails, her eyebrows, her lashes, shoes, clothes to present herself to the world, right? So she's spending this money on looking good, but she's not living good because she's not taking care of her security, her home, her basic finances. She can't have the best health care she needs it because her finances are limited. She may be in a relationship that she can't get out of because of financial dependence.
Mhm.
It may impact her ability to begin a business to get the professional success that she's looking for. And then she probably hasn't found her purpose. So it's a compounding issue, in my opinion, for women. One, to repeat, we don't even have the permission to want money, to feel good about earning money, to say, I want to be rich.
Right.
And then when we do have some money, rather than investing it in living good, we're putting it into ourselves to look good for people who don't really even care about us. So it's a conundrum that I feel that we're in as women.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's true. To a level, I mean, listen, I that's true. I like to look good. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? But I also had to know, okay, all my money can't go to no hair now, right? But you have to know how. Okay, if I can, you have maybe some things you have to do yourself. Do your nails yourself, right? Especially with the some people like to do acrylic nails, which is nothing wrong with that, but those are costly. Maybe do what do you call them, press on nails, because now press on nails are popping. Don't get me wrong, right? So maybe that's you have to kind of shift and think if something that you might not want to do or you don't know how to do yourself, which is most people don't know how to do maybe their own hair, rather go to the salon to do it. But in the other way, maybe you could save money by doing your nails and stuff that yourself. That's something that I had to shift and do. I started doing that for COVID, and I noticed how much money I saved, and I'm still doing it now
Yeah.
because the amount of money that I was wasting on getting my nails all the time done, it was like, okay, this don't make sense. Just between just the designs and everything else. But when the COVID hit, I had no choice but to do it myself. I realized how much money I'm saving. So then what I did, I just kept going. If I'm doing it all this time, it's not gonna hurt me to just keep doing it myself. And really, it makes the nails healthier as well. So I say all this to say that I agree with you, Morgana. So, some level, we already are taught to being cute. There's nothing wrong with being cute, but if that's all your money's going, maybe you might have to consider certain things, shift certain
Mhm.
things. But I do agree with you. I do.
Then, especially
Yeah.
when you add business ownership, we want to present ourselves in the right way for
Yeah.
business, and it becomes counterproductive. Or,
It does.
I love to look good, but I love thrift stores. I love taking
Ooh,
$5 and coming up with a nice little outfit, right?
girl, I love me some strip stores. Ain't oh, you my girl. See, I do. There are some nice things there. I mean, there's always ways to look good on a budget. I know we rare in the conversation, but this is all part of finances, right? There's always a way that for you to save money and still look good. Um,
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
true.
So back to what Karen said, Morgana, because you like thrift stores, yes, but you also said earlier on that while you were part of the corporate world, I think you were also building your business on the side. So like that was a side hustle, yes.
Yes.
And my question is, so everybody doesn't have a side hustle, or they haven't thought that they might have to leave the corporate world unexpectedly and may need a side hustle before they need a side hustle, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So, do you recommend that, before you need a side hustle, maybe one of the things us women need to be aware of, just in case, you may want to look at other options in case, you go to work and you're told during the day, oops, well, you didn't make the list. You're not with us tomorrow. Then what do you do? Do you recommend that, or do you prefer women to really consider the route of investments where if something happens, you just dip into your investments, if that question even makes sense? I guess I'm asking, what advice would you give? Do you say side hustle or do you say investment?
You know what? I think you are just trying to dig all in my ribs.
I am not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna drink my water.
No, it's a great question because everything that I'm going to share is I lived it. So,
Right.
and sometimes transparency can be uncomfortable, but I'm going to be transparent. In 2014, I was laid off the first time.
Mhm.
And as a result, I had to get my finances in order. I met with someone like Carolyn and got a financial needs analysis. And I was said, hey, you need to make extra income. And as a result, I started doing this business because I saw how it changed my mindset and my decisions. So I started doing this business. And just like you said, Gail, I felt like I needed a side hustle, but I didn't have one in
Mhm.
2014. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
I vowed to myself I would never be in a position where if I get laid off again, I don't have an alternative. And that alternative was one, a side hustle, and two, investments.
Mhm.
So rewind 2004, not rewind, fast forward 2014 to October. And here's the irony. October 10, 2022, I received my layoff from my current position.
Mhm.
Here's the irony. I started that position on the same day, October 10, 2018. That day is
Mhm.
my birthday.
Wow.
Ooh.
So when I was
Mhm.
laid off on October 10, 2022, I smiled and I said, thank you, because I said, I've got something to fall back on. I
Right.
have the
Mhm.
business I started building part time. And two, I have some money saved. So it wasn't
Mhm.
that traumatic breakdown moment. It was still emotional. No one wants to get laid off, if we can be honest, but I had options. I was prepared. So, to answer your question, Gail, get a business today. And if you don't have a business, talk to Carolyn and myself and partner with us because we could build a referral and a revenue sharing network and help you build out a business and we can mutually benefit. So
Mhm.
have your side hustle, your business, and your investments going now to be prepared. Because if you live long enough, a layoff will come.
Yeah.
Yes.
Best advice. Best
Mhm.
advice ever.
Yeah.
As I said, I
Yeah.
wish I knew you before, but I didn't. But it's the best advice ever. And
No,
yes,
that's
Carolyn.
true.
As well. And it's, as Morgana said, it's having something on the side. Well, hers was a layoff. Mine was due to medical.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not being able to be at work, to go back to a job when they asked you to come back that you medically couldn't go, they had to let me go.
Hmm.
So therefore, that I have my business to fall back on. And in this case, I couldn't speak, I couldn't talk. So I had my partners like Morgana to be able to help run my business.
Hmm.
So I couldn't
Hmm.
do my business because
Hmm.
I didn't have voice, I couldn't vocal, I couldn't talk.
Hmm.
So they did all that for me.
Hmm.
I
That's
still
good.
had income coming in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, Lucille,
And
that
I've been
sorry,
doing this
Carolyn, that is such a
too.
really that's such a really good point because you know what happens to us as well. If you're working in the corporate world and something happens to you, you know, like medically, and you have to be off for a period of time. The thing is, I think there are all these little things that make us comfortable in corporate. You can be off as long as you have your doctor's, you know, certificate, and you'll still be paid. And there will be other people there to do your work or some kind of work. But once you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur, when you are medically unable to work, that is it. Most times, because you can't do anything. And once you can't do anything, there's no money coming in. And it's all of these little things, I guess, that you need to be aware of. Also, if you're laid off suddenly, you now have additional bills that you didn't have before. You may have to pay your pension yourself now. You may have to pay your medical yourself instead of your company sponsoring you. It's like all of these things happening. And as I said, I think it's really good advice to tell somebody, you know, early
Yeah.
in the game, you know, yes, you're working, job is good, the harder you work and the more overtime you put in, the more bonuses you get. You know, people love you when you go above and beyond. But then what happens? Because at the end of the day, it's still the bottom line. And when it's
Yeah.
time to go, it will be time to go, whether it's immediately, next week, next month. And you need to have a plan in place. But I think when you are on the top of the mountain, you never think you're going to fall into the valley at the bottom of the mountain and all that, just to say this is it's an important conversation because life happens. And
Yeah.
I'm sure Carolyn didn't plan for that to happen, and it happens. So you need somehow to be prepared, especially financially. I know you need to be prepared emotionally as well, you know, physically. But you see, financial stuff causes all the other stuff. If you don't have peace of mind about your finances, you can just go crazy. Just speaking
Yeah.
from personal experience, I thought I was losing my mind. I didn't have a Morgana, I didn't have a Carolyn, so I just lost my mind. But yeah, I'm better now.
I think too, if I could interject, that Carolyn didn't bring up, but I think it's important, and that is the importance of being ready for a rainy day and having the right
Yes,
life insurance in place, both for
yes,
Hmm.
your health
yes.
and your business. So, Carolyn, tell them how you were able to leverage life insurance during that time.
Okay, so with that, I I was able. I have a life insurance that has a living benefit to it,
Okay.
and so I was able to. My doctor was able to issue my paperwork to the insurance company,
Mhm.
and they had to figure out how much of my base amount that I can utilize and how long it's going to take me to be out. And so they came up with a percentage of what the face amount that I can use. And I was able to have that income coming in. So I didn't have to worry about my 30 days. As you know,
Mhm.
that when you can't cover your 30 days, even if you're going through a medical issue or being laid off, that's what frustration, and you jump and you
Hmm.
don't know, and it's a lot of stress on you. I've been there in the past, but I was prepared
Mhm.
at this stage of life. Was I prepared for a health issue? No, I wasn't prepared for that. But I had that in place. And so being able to utilize that, so your doctor works with your insurance, the provider, and so they figure out the percentage of what I can that I was able to utilize, and over a period of time. So I had income still coming in. That's tax free money. So I'm not paying taxes on that. That's tax free money. So I was able to have that money coming in and to pay my 30 days of mine, because power bill still showed up, the insurance company, the car payment, the rental, everybody that I owed, regardless of what I was going through, those bills still showed up every 30 days. You still have to live, even going through life. Um, a, a, I would say just a major thing in life that it could have taken my life,
Yeah.
but I'm still here. I'm standing.
Yeah.
But having that in place of utilizing your insurance have a living benefit attached to it, so you don't have to die before your family be able to get to utilize your insurance. You can live and utilize it while you're still here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a very important point, Carolyn, because what people don't realize is this, like you just mentioned, life insurance more than you can use it, utilize it past your death. Everybody's associated to dying, right? But what people don't realize is that disability benefits that we all work for, those take time for you to get it from the city or whatever city you're from, right? And you could actually get denied. You can get denied. They can deny you, and to get paid out for those takes months. So I think people need to, I hope people are taking in the bigger picture. I hope people are really taking in this conversation as far as when it comes preparing for things that can happen in life, right? Because like I just mentioned, disability is not guaranteed. Even though we pay for it from our money, you can still get denied from that. So one would assume, oh, if I'm paying for it, I should be able to get it. No, that is not the case. So I just want to put that out there for people, so people could really take in this conversation and just for them to reevaluate their finance. and for them to really consider, maybe you need to see things for what it, look how many people's getting laid off right now. Uh, like, really, right? So if you don't have an action plan, you're going to be, now you have to worry about how you're going to feed your kids, how you're going to pay your rent, how you're going to, just the necessary things that go into life. And the food is just outrageous in the prices. So we have to consider all of that. So I think that it's important that you brought that up, just to have a life insurance policy, not just when you pass on for your family, but for current situations right now. So I want to ask you, ladies, what is the 3 tips that people could take home with them today to start implementing or just assessing their finances?
I'll start with the first tip. It is absolutely positively to work with a licensed financial professional and complete a financial needs analysis for your personal finances as well as your business finances, and make certain that you have a personal financial plan as well as a business financial plan. First tip.
And what we also need to do is get our personal finances in order. And what we talked about, having a solid plan and tools to actually put those things in place. These are things that we talked about, we've touched base on just in this last 30 minutes. Those are the things that we need to start doing. Mm-hmm. Being prepared. We don't know when stuff's going to happen to us. We need to be prepared, proactive, not reactive, but proactive.
Yeah.
Another tip is, we only said 3, you put 2. That's really 1 and 2 are the same.
Oh, so 1 and 2. Okay, so 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 is together.
Yes, I think they said that the personal finances, getting your personal and your business finances in order, is part of when you have that conversation with your financial, with your financial advisor and organizing your needs analysis.
So 1 and 2 is together, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Yes, Morgana. So number 2.
And to close out 1, you can work with Carolyn and I virtually, and our services are complimentary to you. Just want to put that out there.
And I'm going to add, I'm sorry to cut you off, Morgana. I'm going to add your LinkedIn information in the chat. Yeah. Guys, please connect with these 2 ladies just to get an assessment. Just to, if you don't know where to start, because some of us don't even know where to start, right? So if you don't know where to start, there you go. We got you. We got somewhere for you to start. 2 ladies that can help you out. And, that's pretty much it. I'm going to put it in the chat and the comments now.
Okay, I'll lean into the second tip and then pass over to Carolyn for the third. The second tip is, I'm going to say scope. You need to know the scope of your gifts, the scope of your limitations, the scope of your business. And then that's going to help you figure out what tools you need, who is on your team. Because I know what I do well, and I look for people who do better on my faults, right? I look for people who can balance out my weaknesses. So you have to scope your business, yourself, so that you can really have a refined plan. And here's why. It's going to take some money to pull your business off the ground. And you don't want to waste your money. So you need to be so laser focused on what your mission is for your business. And even knowing your weaknesses to know how to complement them. And that might be purchasing a tool or might be leveraging another person. So it's so important to know those 3 things to spend your money and time wisely.
Yep.
That's 2.
To you.
Love it.
Okay, my bad.
You're number 3, Carolyn. Can you give us a tip?
What Karen said is to work with someone like Morgana and I. Reach out to us and to get a financial advisor, a consultant to help you get you where you want to be. Your vision, your dreams, to help you meet and reach those things. So sit with someone like us, and so we can help.
Great.
There you go. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 3 tips for today. Reach out. Don't be shameful. And do you think people are ashamed of they showing up their finance? Like, right? I mean, I feel like some people are. They might be ashamed because they money shouldn't be where they at. And there's so many embarrassment or shameful aspect when it comes to finance. And I think people don't get help because they think they're gonna be judged. Is that some
I
truth to
agree.
that or no?
And I want to add this. These are topics that most people are uncomfortable talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a safe zone.
Right.
Working with us, sitting with us is a safe zone because we don't judge you.
Right.
Because we all been there at one point or another in our life. We didn't know this coming up, right? This was not taught to us, right? So you didn't know where to go or the question to ask or who to ask, right? So this is a truly safe zone and a nurturing, an area to nurture you to get where you want to be. So I mean, I know it's an uncomfortable topic, but this is a topic that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
And address it with someone who's going to hold your hand and bring you through.
Yeah.
And especially somebody who's walked the walk, you know,
Right.
like Carolyn, you walked your walk with your medical stuff. Morgana, you
You
walked your
walked.
walk more than once with, you know,
Right.
your
Which is
glad safe space. I think that's what most people space.
Mhm.
But those hard which means I'm more, you know, I come in and I look so wonderful and I say, oh well, you know what, I only have $50 in my bank account. She doesn't look at me like, no, I don't believe it. She's gonna say, you know, let me help you. You know, she's not gonna judge me. She's not gonna say, oh, she was so put together and she only has $50. Like, what is this?
right.
That's that whole living good, looking good, where it hurts us in many ways, right? Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
typically when we work with some people, we do look and see them like, oh, Gucci, all these name brands. But then when it comes down to the numbers, it is low. But
Yeah.
don't worry about it if that's the case, because I was there before. And
Right.
like Karen and Gail suggested, or not suggested, let you know we change. I could tell you if you get paid and your paycheck is already spent, I could tell you how to take cash out and what to overdraft so that you could still have some cash in your pocket while the overdrafts are hitting and your bills are getting paid. So your lights don't have to be turned off.
Look at that.
I can give
Wow.
you some strategies like that, but then I can also say you got $1,000 extra to invest. Here's where you can put it. So Carol and I can give real life advice if you're comfortable opening up enough to let us know where you are.
Right. I
And
think that's
being
the key.
honest. Being
Yeah, I think
honest. I
that's the
think you have
key.
to be honest.
Yeah. So in closing, we are about to close today's chat. Any last words for people out there so they can take it in and go home with, ladies? Gail, start with you and then Morgana and then Carolyn.
Well, I just want to thank Morgana and Carolyn for like this conversation as usual has been so insightful. I'm sure everybody who logged in today really learned a lot. And if you're on the replay, I'm sure it's going to be just as valuable. Money is an interesting topic because
Yeah.
of I was going to say it has of the hold because of the hold it has on us and our minds. And if we don't do something about it and kind of try to control how we view money versus then having money control us. And that's why having this conversation was really, really good. I like especially the fact that after this conversation, I'm sure a lot of people out there are going to have more hope because a
Right.
lot of people are living with the fear of
Mm-hmm.
being a part of a mass layoff and
Yeah.
afraid of the future and the unexpectedness of the future. But now they have an option. They can contact Morgana and Carolyn and they can start to plan before the unexpected
It
happens.
happened.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think that I learned a lot, and I
Yeah.
think that your future too in helping women, it's gonna prove to be very valuable. And I wanted to thank you for coming.
Yeah. Okay, Morgana, your turn. What any last words for today in closing?
My words in closing are simply, don't be ashamed.
Yeah.
You can only go wrong when you don't try to grow and
Mm-hmm.
change your position.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep
Yeah.
it that simple.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I like that. It said journey
Yeah,
of a
me too.
1,000 miles starts with one step, right?
Yeah.
So we need to make that first step.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah,
I'll leave it
I
there.
agree. Okay, there you have it, folks. Listen, I understand it's not the best conversation, but if you're real with yourself, and I think that's the first key, being real with yourself, right? To say that I need help with my finance. I don't know what percentage to put away, what percentage to save, because some of us don't know that, and some of us have not been taught financial literacy. But it's so that's okay. I mean, that's fine. That's part of life. We was all wasn't taught something. But today's the day. If you're watching this live today, or if you're watching a replay, just know that help is out there. Reach out to these two ladies. They would not only they would show you how to do it, but they also will give you financial literacy lessons, right? And do you ladies have a clubhouse as well, or do you guys still do clubhouse? Or I'm not sure. I'm not wrong. Carolyn.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Do y'all still do Clubhouse? I don't know if y'all still do, but I know one time y'all guys was hosting a Clubhouse room, um, talking about finance. And if it is the case, I will get all the deeds and I will put them all in the comments because I want people to really get acclimated in this and just to really understand the importance of having that protection for yourself. I mean, that's just my take for today. I hope everybody have a wonderful Sunday. And ladies, thank you so much for coming and thank you for bringing your value.
My pleasure. Thank you
Bye,
See
too.
you, everybody.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
Bye.